Today is Wednesday, September the 20th. Link to Nearpod is in the chat. Please join using your first name and last initial. Remember, this session will be recorded in case anybody is absent or would want to review the lesson again. A glimpse at the week. These are two quizzes that are due for the week. 3.07 and 3.10. If you need help with any of the quizzes, please join Open Office after the session, and I'm still going over 3.07 quiz. Lesson objectives. Today I am calculating percent increase or decrease from a given word problem so that I can analyze a problem to see how much the change was in terms of percentages. I know I got it if I can fluently analyze for percent change to see how significant the change was. We have time to climb so that we can get a good idea about how well we know the topic before we will go over it as a class. Make sure you have paper and pencil to solve the questions as always and climb faster than your Nearpod link is in the chat. Join using your first name and last initial. Because sometimes the names show Isaiah. Join using your first name and last initial. Because these are recorded sessions, we don't want to show your full names. Right? Shamir, first name and last initial. You know, Ben, this is the case for me. Same here. Students, join using your first name only. There you go, Caden. Set a good example. Caden, then W. Michael, good. Michael, and then M. That's how you put your name in. Let's see for more. We have Mia, and then L. See, this is how you put in your names. Let's see one more. People, join Nearpod. You want to see one more? There we go. Ben, R, not full name. Mecca, very good, Mecca. Very good. That's how it should be. Let's get started. So I mute the music so that those watching the recordings can also listen to me. A store increases the price of a sweater from $20 to $22. What is the percent increase? What is the percent increase? And I've given you sufficient time to solve. Use the amount of time so you can think critically. It is a percent question. If so many of you will just answer super fast, to say yes, join Nearpod. Join Nearpod so you can participate. Question 2, there will be only 2 questions. The price of a television was reduced from $250 to $200. By what percentage was the price of the television reduced? Everybody answer. We've got, work it out. Oh, Jezebel, I don't know why, but I start class on time. Always refresh or exit out completely and then try to join. It should be working. Morgan, I received your message. 30 seconds more. So if you missed the warm-up, no problem. There were only 2 questions in it, so you're not super late. Okay. Joycelyn did really well. See, Isaiah, that is why I was asking you guys to just put in last initials, because it will just get recorded. Very good, well done. So, students, it seemed like a lot of you guys did pretty well, and I am amazed. It didn't happen in all the previous sessions. The students didn't show as mastery as the amount of mastery you guys showed. I will go ahead and open up breakout rooms just right away, because if you think you master the topic, you can get started right away with your groups. So I'm going to go over the group norms a little just as a reminder. I don't always do, but it is always a good idea to remind you guys every now and then, so everybody follows expectations. Group norms and expectations. You will be working in groups of 4. 4 is like really good amount of people. So everybody gets a chance to speak. Somebody gets a chance to write on the whiteboard, communicate over the chat, and be heard, and and stuff. So groups of 4 is good number. Groups of 5 and groups of 3 also acceptable, right? You are allowed to choose your group. You may use the chat to collaborate with your classmates and invite them to make a group with you. Make sure to assign group roles in the first 30 seconds, and you can stick to those group roles if you think those roles are working. The group roles are timekeeper, group facilitator that keeps the group on task, and group spokesperson that tells the teacher what the group is working on at the time as the teacher enters the room. Right? And I'm going to stop by each room to check for your progress and answer any questions. And how the work happens in the group work, if you're just brand new to your class, the group work happens this way. I will provide your group with a set of 4 problems today. Each member will choose one problem to solve for the group. They will show step-by-step process to solve that problem. Once they finish, the group can ask questions. Once everybody is in agreement with the answer, you box the answer like I boxed and sign your name. This time there's also some space to sign your name, right? And at the end, we will also have some time to discuss if there are still some unresolved questions that needs to be resolved together. Everybody understands, are ready for group work? Tell me in the chat, are you guys awake? Yes. Perfect, perfect. So group work starts now. I can allow 13 minutes. No, I think it's going to be more. I will allow 17 minutes. And the groups have now started. Use the chat. So you can tell your friends which group you will. Morgan, that is such a good thing. And here is the link to the self-paced Nearpod. As you join groups, you can be in the self-paced Nearpod. And move at a different pace than the rest of us. Right? Okay. Now the rest of you who are, yes, absolutely. Those of you who are still in the main room, I'm hoping that you guys are working with me. Group E still wants people. Group E doesn't have members. If you want to work in Group E, you have a little group of people who want to work in Group E. Group B has 2 members. Group C has 2 members. Group A is full, so don't join Group A at this time. Group A is full. Group D is full. Group E and C. Group C and E still needs members. This is how it looks like. Okay, I'm going to go to start again. Let's look at the questions together. Oh, Perseus, that is so good. Let's see. Here is the first question that we looked at in Time to Climb. Absolutely, and share answers over here, right? You can do work in notebook and share answers here. On task. So a store increases the price of a sweater from $20 to $22. What is the percent increase? There's always a little formula that you can use for percentages, right? Like this one. Right? You do change over the original amount, and then that helps you figure out the missing percent part. Go ahead, get started. How much is the change in the price in terms of percent? Get started. Um, I see here in my session, Amani is here, Caitlin, Blake, Shamir, Isaiah, Amy, Harmony, Lily, Aliyah, Mia, Briley, Maka, Joshua, Perseus, David, Jezebel, Amory. You guys are in the main room. Kyler. So I want to see you working actively in the Nearpod. In the main room, link stays the same. Yeah, that is part the whole thing. Please join Nearpod so I can see your work and give you feedback. Blake. Very good, Blake. Blake, I need some guidance from you. Is your mic working, Blake?
Yes, it is.
Go ahead, Blake. How did you come up with the
I
answer?
so I got 10% because 20. If you add 2% to 20, it's the same number as 20, so it should be 10% of 20.
Oh, very good way of thinking without solving. Very good, Blake. Excellent. Very proud of you. Amani. No one is in E. I know E was like empty group. I can just remove room E or maybe like a quiet room for somebody to work on their own. For those who are trying to use the formula from 20 to 22, how much is the change? How much change happened? You do some subtraction and you see the change happened is 2. You also want to see how much is the original. Original is something that is before. Very good, Caitlin. That happened before the change. So it's 20. Caitlin, hop on the mic, talk about how did you solve the problem.
Um, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I solved the problem because 20 goes into 105 times. So
Yes.
what you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top, and if you multiply 2 times 5, it would equal 10, and it would be 10%.
Very good. Excellent. So from 20 to 100, it is 5 times. Because you're making it a percent, you want to make it over 100. So that's what you did over here. Times it by 5. You get 10%. I'm going to pause. Are there questions over this one before we move on? So far, I have seen there's at least one question on star that is always like this. It is such a small one, but just requires you to remember how to find percent change. Not a lot of steps, not a lot of thinking, but simple one like this. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to still pause. Are there questions? And make sure you can ask questions by typing them in the Nearpod. You can ask them by typing in the question answer. You can ask them by hopping in on the mic. If everybody understand doesn't mean that you also need to understand. I need to see some active slides. So that shows me where you are and how I can help you. Let's look at another question. This was question 2 from your time to climb. And most of you kind of answered this one correctly. I was wondering how. Show me your learning. Remember, this formula I have given you right now, right? This formula will not always be given to you. It will not. You have to remember the formula. The price of a television was reduced from $250 to $200. By what percentage was the price of the television reduced? Everybody get started. Show me your work. In the meanwhile, you will do that. I'm going to hop into the breakout rooms. At least one of it, one of my largest breakout room to see how your classmates are working, and then I'm going to be quickly back. students, I am back. I just went into one room to see what they're doing, and they seem to understand what they're doing. That's a good thing. I see here Alia's work. Alia, very good. I see Alia use some dollar sign also, and that is good. So to find the change, I'm going to put a real red dot so you know that's how we can. I'm going to go back to my share screen, as near part is easier to write on. So those of you who need some amount of guidance, and this is the guidance for you if you want to figure out some change. Change means difference. What is the difference in the prices from 250 to 200? Put that in the chat. How much is the difference between the 250 and the 200? There should be some waterfall of numbers. Number one, Isabel, good. So the change from 250 to 200 is a change of $50. So we know how we can start writing a proportion. We can start writing 50. That is one of the top numbers. How much is the original price before the change happened? 250. Excellent, Shamir. That is the original price before the change happened. So 250 goes over here. And then we can make it into a percent, like make it over 100, right? There are so many other ways you could handle this question. This is one of the several different ways. Let me see. Mac, I would love to see some work on your near part slide so I can give you feedback. Mia, I see and I agree to how you're doing it. Emery, very good. And Emery, I agree to your answer. If you have solved it, you can drop your answer in the main chat. Let's see if everybody's in agreement with the answers. Caitlin, I'm going to show you a nice good strategy, Caitlin, and I know you will be able to figure it out on your own. Caitlin, whenever I see zeros, I remove them. So over here, how about we decide to remove the zeros? Do you think now it is a more you can handle it better, Caitlin? See, so easy for you. So now, if you remove the 0 from the 50, it becomes 5 over 25. And removing zeros is not just removing zeros. You simplify by 10 in your head. Removing a 1 0 means simplifying by 10. And then you can make it into a percent. Shamir got 20%. I agree to you, Shamir. What about others? Mia still working it out. Mecca, type in the chat. Let me know. Mecca, does your mic work? Jezebel got 20%. Caitlin got 20%. Mecca, does your mic work? Emery got 20%. Isaiah, I didn't see your work here. David, I didn't see your work here. I see your Harmony. Amory, I agree. Blake, I'm still seeing. Trying to wait for your answer. Blake is not gonna be 5. Oh yeah, 20%. Yes, works. Isaiah, I see you started. Perfect, Mecca. Now I see your work. And if some cases, if you're working on a sheet of paper, feel free to just let me know. And share some answers over the chat so I know you are listening and you are trying to work it out. Let's practice one more question and see how you guys will do. If you have learned the topic and you understand how to find percent change, go ahead. Show me your mastery on this topic. Yes, Amani. Exactly. Then this is going to be a very efficient way to change it to a decimal and then convert to a percent, and that will work. Amani, I'm going to assign you a task. You will do a task for me, and I'm going to type the task in the chat. And which ones I want you to go to is Mani, this is your task. Let's go ahead and see how you guys have started doing this question. The price of a video game was reduced from $60 to $45. By what percentage was the price of the video game reduced? Remember to try it out. Mecca, excellent. I am very proud of you, Mecca. Excellent. Mia, heading in the right direction. Caitlin, subtract again. There's some calculation error in the numerator, Caitlin. Ben, excellent. Very good. Alia, very good. Blake, price difference. Blake, find the price difference again. The change. Remember, Blake? Numerator is the change from 60 to 45, and subtraction helps you figure that out. This change, and the original is going to be 60. So I just didn't agree to your numerator here, Blake. See how much do you get? Blake, reconsider. There you go. I agree, Blake. And then denominator, Blake, is the original price before the price changed. Denominator is before the price changed, right, Blake? Original means before the change happened, original. So you put 15 and you did 60. Now, again, like how Caitlin was asking, Miss Syed, how do we reduce this one? Good, Shamir. How do you reduce this one? I am going to use my multiplication facts for reducing. I'm going to reduce it by 15. Right, I'm going to reduce it by 15. So now, 15 divided by 15, I get 1. 60 divided by 15, I get 4. Okay. Just in case if you are stuck with the simplifying part, this is how you could have simplified. Alia, very good. Ben, very good. Mia, still working it out. Emery, very good. Isaiah, show me details of your work so I can give you feedback. Isaiah, this is the amount in dollars, but you got to find percent. Caitlin, I agree to you. Jezebel, I agree to you. Perseus is still trying to work it out. Shamir, I agree to you. Right? And then a quarter. This is 1 over 4 is a quarter. And a quarter is 25 cents, right? Quarter is always 25 cents out of 100. So it's also 25%. 1 over 4 is 25%, right? A quarter is 25% of anything. It's like a benchmark thing. If you don't think about it in benchmark thing, you're also thinking about multiplying by 25, 4 times 25. And then 1 times 25. Let me know if anybody has any questions. Right, that will be 25. Groups, did you guys have any questions to ask me? Thank you, Amani. I received your message. Okay, if there are no more questions, I can dismiss you. And if you want some help on 3.07 quiz, make sure to join OpenOffice and I'm going to be there to help. Oh, let's see. There's something in the chat I need to read. When do we have to divide in some problems and X in others? That is a nice, good question. Mia, when do we have to divide? See, Mia, I'm going to tell you one thing. In all cases, this is how you should originally set it up. This is for all cases. Over question mark over 100. This is in all cases, right? Should be in your mind. You're trying to solve for equivalent fractions. all the time. Mia, the rest you guys can hop off. This is for Mia because she asked. This standard thing should be in your mind all the time, Mia. There is nothing different than this. Got it, Mia? So this got reduced to 1 over 4. So then it became 25%. This is standard. Equivalent fractions. Thank you so much for joining.